Hello students, welcome again. Students, when we study English literature during the Victorian age, we must discuss the contribution of Lord Alfred Tennyson to English poetry. If you examine the whole 19th century, specifically if you read the history of English literature after 1830 to 1900, during these 70 years, this period is known as the age of Queen Victoria, and during this age, we have two most outstanding poets, Alfred Tennyson and Robert Browning. In today's lecture, we want to discuss his poem In Memoriam. Tennyson, who is also considered as the poet laureate and as the most representative poet of the 19th century, is known by some of his very popular poems like Morty the Author, Ulysses, The Princess, In Memoriam, and so on. But today we want to focus this poem In Memoriam. Actually, the whole title of the poem, the original title of the poem is longer. Okay, as you can see in the screen, the title is An Obituary in the Memory of Arthur Henry Hallam, 1833. This is the whole long title. Okay, and the poem is also very long. It's a long narrative poem written in the form of elegy. What is an elegy? Elegy is a type of lyric poem in which the poet expresses his grief, his sorrow after the death of some near or dear one. Okay, so this poem is also an elegy which is written in memory of Tennyson's dear friend Arthur Henry Hallam, who died at a very young age of 22. In fact, Tennyson was a very close friend to Arthur Hallam, and when Hallam dies at the age of 22, at such a young age he dies, and that's why Tennyson wanted to express his sorrow, his feeling of loss, feeling of grief. Okay, and that's why he has written this poem. It's a very long poem written in 133 cantos. Canto means, you can say, parts. Okay, it has one prologue. Prologue means introduction, and it has one epilogue also. Epilogue means conclusion. And this poem is written in about more than 2800 lines. Okay, it's such a long poem written from 1833 to 1850. During these 70 years, the whole different poems were composed, and then they were published as one poem entitled as In Memoriam. The poem is written in elegiac stanza. Elegiac stanza means the stanza of 4 lines, quatrains. Okay, and the rhyming scheme of this poem is A B A B. But in today's video lecture, we want to discuss the most important themes presented by Tennyson in this poem. And mainly, there are 4 major themes that catch our eyes when we read the poem. Okay, and these 4 are grief and mourning, okay, love and friendship, faith and doubt, and mortality. So these 4 themes we want to discuss one by one. Number 1, we come across this theme of grief. Grief means sorrow, and mourning means to express the sorrow after someone's death. Okay, so this is the central idea presented by Tennyson. He has expressed his profound sense, profound means deep, deep sense of loss, sadness over his friend's Hallam's death. Okay, throughout the poem, Tennyson deals with the pain of this loss and his own feelings of emptiness and despair. After the death of his friend, Tennyson said Tennyson was feeling vacant and empty in his life, and that these feelings have been very poignantly, sadly expressed by Tennyson in this poem. You can read these four lines which express Tennyson's sorrow. But I remained whose hopes were dim. The poet says that my hopes were now dim. Dim means not in light. Okay, so the poet had lost his hope, whose life, whose thoughts were little worth. My life has become worthless. Okay, it is meaningless now to wander on a darkened earth. According to the poet, the whole earth is dark. Why? Because his friend is not now living on this earth. To wander on a darkened earth where all things round me breathe of him. So everything breathes of him. That means, with every breathe, he remembers his friend, he misses his friend. So this sense of loss of friend has been very poignantly presented by Tennyson in each and every line in this poem in Memoriam. Another important theme of this poem is love and friendship. Okay, here Tennyson's relationship with Helen was so deeply significant, and their friendship becomes a central focus in this poem. The poet echoes the joys and challenges of the friendship, okay, the memories that he shared with him, okay, the depth of the feeling that he had for his friend. All these things have been expressed by Tennyson in this poem. He remembers and misses his friend, at every moment, every now and then he remembers his friend. Read these lines. The rhyming scheme of this stanza is A, B, B, A. Line and mine. Line number 1 and line number 4. They rhyme with each other, and line number 2 and 3. Past and last. They also rhyme with each other. That's why the rhyming scheme is A, B, B, A. Most of the times, all throughout the poem, the poet has continued this rhyming scheme. Read these lines where you find that Tennyson has been remembering and missing his friend in at every moment. So word by word, line by line, the dead man touched me from the past. Okay, whenever the poet writes a word, whenever the poet writes even a line, his memories touch him from the past, and all at once it seemed at last the living soul was flashed on mine. Still, the living soul is flashing upon the mental eyes of Tennyson. So, this is how, the love between two friends, the bond between two good friends has been presented by the poet. Third important theme is faith and doubt. Okay, what is faith? Like, see, you have faith on God, but when you encounter some problems in your life, then sometimes you become doubtful. You lost your faith from God. The same thing happened with Tennyson also in his personal life, and that's why these feelings of faith and doubt have also been presented by Tennyson here. Okay, Helen's death challenged his beliefs and caused him to question the nature of God and the afterlife. Before the death of Helen, Tennyson had complete faith in nature, in God. Okay, but after his friend's death, Tennyson's faith has been shattered, has been lost, and now doubt comes in his mind, and that's why he writes this line, nature red in tooth and claw. Nature has been presented as very much cruel here with red fingers, as if the nature has killed his friend. Okay, so this is how he has lost faith from God, and he presents God and nature as cruel agents, and that's why he writes this line. Throughout the poem, Tennyson raises these questions and considers the possibility of a world without meaning or purpose. According to Tennyson, after his friend's death, his life has lost the actual meaning. Life has become meaningless for Tennyson. Fourth and last important theme is mortality. Mortality is what? Impermanence. Okay, see, in this world, nothing is permanent. Okay, everything is going to die. This is a very deep philosophy which is presented in Bhagavad Gita and all in Hindu philosophies. Okay, and the same philosophy of mortality, of impermanence, has been presented by Tennyson in this poem. Tennyson confronts the inevitability of death. Death is compulsory, death is inevitable, and life is impermanent. Life is not permanent. Okay, he considers the fleeting nature of human existence and the ways in which we must all face our own mortality. So he consoles, he tries to console himself by believing that though life is mortal, humans are mortal, but still we need to find out meaning from this meaninglessness of life. Okay, mark these lines. My own dim life should teach me this. He says that my dim life means my old age, has taught me this lesson. Which lesson? That life shall live forevermore. Life is worth living. Though we miss our friends, we miss our relatives, or in the journey of life, else earth is darkness at the core, and dust and ashes all that is. Actually, the earth is dark. Okay, everywhere there is darkness, and dust and ashes all that is. Everything is going to be dust at the end. Everything is going to be burnt at the end, but still we have to do our duties, okay, assigned by God. So find out meaning from the meaninglessness of life. Okay, consider mortality, and keeping mortality before your eyes, you have to continue living your life. So this philosophy has been presented by Tennyson. Overall, let me conclude the argument by saying that this poem is indeed a powerful morning poem, and it explores some of the most profound philosophies of human experience. And Tennyson has written this poem in the form of elegy. Love and friendship, then faith and doubt, the reality and mortality, these are some major issues presented by Tennyson. So I hope now this video is helpful to you in your examination. Please do share this video among all your friends and classmates. Thank you for watching. Thank you.